The Kids Media Club podcast is open for sponsorship. If you'd like to strategically put a conversation into the ears of your stakeholders before big events like BLE, Annecy, or MIPCOM, then drop us a line on LinkedIn or via our website, kidsmediaclubpodcast.com. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Kids Media Club podcast. I'm Andy Williams and I'm here with Emily, but we have no Joe today.
It's a busy time, isn't it? She's off in Lisbon, but it's all good. We've still got a bit of chat coming through to you guys. In fact, it was kind of handy because we were talking about indie animation, the three of us, last week. We were talking about some of the folks that we know that are out there in the wild making it happen. And then YouTube went in and released a culture and trends report called Animation's New Wave, how independent online animators are reshaping the entertainment industry. It's like they were listening to our WhatsApp group.
Amazing. And so if you kind of filter through maybe the PR gloss, what's the kind of substance of the report?
Listen, I would say the substance is the PR gloss, right? Like, this is the thing, right? I think it's very interesting that YouTube are putting out a report that's pushing this, right? That are, they're obviously like, it's something that they want to encourage. It's pushing it very positively. There's some nice stats in there, like 61% of 14 to 24-year-old animation fans agree that they like watching animated series created by independent animators for YouTube. More than a series created by a major studio, controversial. 63% of them watch animated series created for YouTube weekly or more. And 50% of animation fans agree that they also like to watch animated series in languages that aren't their own. So, listen, I mean, the sample sizes on this aren't, vastly compelling, but the fact that YouTube has invested in this, put it together, wants to put that message out there that independent animation on YouTube is a thing, I think is, that in itself is interesting. Obviously, we know about successes like the Amazing Digital Circus that released a new episode recently, which seemed to go, particularly gangbusters. And like it feels like it's something YouTube is going. It doesn't feel. This is evidence that this is something that YouTube is going after. Otherwise, they wouldn't be putting it into a cute report with data.
Absolutely. I mean, do we have any clarity over who they asked?
I mean, it was a survey between Google and Smith Geiger, an agency and stuff like that. So, like I'm sure it was done solidly. But the bottom line is it's something that YouTube are trying to push, and I think it's interesting. Obviously, we've talked about some indie folks on this podcast. We know people like Corey Williams were out there trying to do it on their own. Tiny Chef broke the internet last year. Obviously, that is a show that started as an indie stop motion animation. Tiny Chef is so adorable. If anyone's listening and hasn't gone to see it, just go. Managed to get picked up by Nickelodeon. Had, I think, 2 seasons with Nickelodeon of a show there, and then got cancelled by Nickelodeon. And the creators obviously decided to announce that cancellation through the most heartbreaking clip ever that literally broke the internet, got them onto Good Morning America last year. It went so viral, and I feel like it went viral in a way that things today don't go that viral that often, right? Like a real viral moment that kind of cut through in culture. And so and they've been subject to, they started indie, went, got the commission, the commission got cancelled. Everything I read about it was basically cancelled because the Paramount situation was just so in gridlock with acquisitions and Skydance and etc. that, they just were like, we need to release you to go and be free rather than like keep you on a kind of like in green light limbo.
Yep.
And so Tiny Chef.
I guess the happy thing about that is that those rights weren't stuck in that gridlock. That that they kept the
Yeah.
rights and they're
I
able
don't
to
know
do
yet,
stuff with
but
it.
I don't know if they have the rights to the seasons that were produced, but at least, they're able to go and do their own thing, pursue their own stuff. And since then they've had, you know, it like the thing is, it's tough for indie creators on YouTube, because if you're producing for kids and you've got that MFK designation, then you are stuck in the revenue rot the revenue rot of YouTube Kids. So I thought it was also
Yeah,
interesting that
all of the producers that I know that work in kids in animation, they view YouTube as a very powerful discovery tool
yeah.
and 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 kind of useful source for data and research, but they don't view it as a monetization stream.
Yes. And I also think interesting in this report is all about 14 to 24-year-olds and not about 6 to 13-year-olds,
Yep.
right? Like that's telling.
Yeah.
But
Trying to keep out of that regulatory crosshair.
yeah, exactly. Kids is a dirty word. I think I wrote that up for my newsletter a few weeks. Oh no, I wrote it up for for Kids Screen a few weeks ago. Um, but the thing about Tiny Chef is, they had an ecosystem, right? And I think that's what creators have. That's what indie producers need to have, right? Like they had their Instagram following that has, that's strong. They had set up a website with, merch, but they were basically gathering an email list, obviously when it went thoroughly viral, they had that infrastructure in place to then, you know, join the Tiny Chef Friend Club. I'm a member. I am a paid member of the Tiny Chef Friend Club. Um, and that kind of, that gave them a starting point for people to put their hand in their pocket and support Tiny Chef. I think it starts from like $2 a month, right? Like going up to whatever a month you want to spend. Um, I would say, in my observation, it took them maybe a little bit of time to get going on what they, get planning on what they wanted to plan. They obviously didn't expect to go so viral in the moment and have, with the whole fundraising apparatus ready to go. So the Friend Club, at one stage I was like, well, I cancel because I'm not really getting any value out of this, but it's kind of ramped up since. It's like behind the scenes town halls, access to exclusive drops of merch, updates on how Chef is doing. And they've also seen, so what they've managed to do, which I think is cool, and I think is like one of the major levers that's worth pulling, is to do content partnerships. So they did a content partnership with Greg's. For international listeners, that is
Amazing.
a UK
An
based.
iconic British brand.
It's a
Top quality
savory
sausages.
Yeah, it's a savory pastry brand. Convenience food shop that is on every high street in the UK. It's random, but it's big. Just take our word for it. So they did, and the pastry, right? Like the baking thing with Chef is perfect, like brand alignment. So they did that one. They did another one then recently with IKEA across Europe, which again, I think for Tiny Chef with his
Yeah, it's
apron
a
and
good
his
brand.
accessories, like makes a lot of sense. So that was really cool.
Swedish meatballs.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Perfect.
they're managing to get a few bigger commercial deals done, hopefully. Hopefully that, they're getting the upshot of that, particularly in places where Tiny Chef is just such a perfect brand ambassador for someone like Greg's or someone like IKEA. So there's people are hustling. People are hustling out there.
Yeah. But it's an interesting, I mean, that's a very interesting example of how a lot of creators are now having to wear so many different hats
Mm.
when they're operating in this area, where they're having to kind of handle the merchandise or the brand partnerships, where previously the channel would have handled the brand partnerships.
I know, and
we would have had a division to do that.
And it must be so difficult because you're just like, how much is this worth? Like, how much am I don't know. If you give me like, particularly when your back's against the wall and it's like, well, just give me like a few grand and that'll be, that's more than what I have right now, versus going, actually, hang on a second. Like if this is a big brand and Greg's, just it's a ticker word for it, is a big deal in the UK. And IKEA is obviously big globally. Like, how do you hold for your value on that? It's when you have no experience. So I don't know if the team involved in Tiny Chef have experience or not, but like as a general creator producer, It's not necessarily something you'll have visibility on. So, yeah, no, it takes a lot of hustle. The other one, obviously, then that's hustling at the moment is our friend Emily Brundige, who we spoke to on the podcast a while ago.
Yes, indeed. And so she's done a animatic for the pilot episode of her new series Strawberry Vampire, and now she's looking to crowdfund for her new for the latest episode. So it's a kind of fantastic example of building in public.
Yeah, and she's spun up since we've spoken to her with the Substack and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, we managed to get her on the phone because it's a very hot moment for her fundraise right now. And so here's the interview with her.
Hi there, everyone. I'm the only person in this room not called Emily.
Aren't you lucky?
You're losing out.
What's the collective name for Emily's?
Emily Square. I don't know, that's not good.
Awesome. Well, we're here with me, Emily Horgan, and great to be here with Emily Brundige of Strawberry Vampire, Little Tuffy Studio.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Big
Thanks
week
for having me again, guys.
Big week for you this week.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So the last time I spoke to you, do you remember what was happening? Was it after the pilot?
It was after the pilot.
Or was it before?
I thought it was after the pilot, but you hadn't started like your Substack or anything like that at that stage.
I think it might have been before.
Yeah, I don't remember
released.
the animatic.
Yeah. So since then, just to catch people up who don't know, I released a Kickstarter funded pilot animatic for my indie show Strawberry Vampire last Halloween, and it kind of did really well. I mean, it just had a really passionate response. It saw, and this is, my channel only had 2,000 subscribers, so it was a small channel, but it got 60,000 views in 48 hours, and now it's just broken 200,000 views. And since then, I've just grown this really passionate fan base for the IP who's only seen the animatic and a few shorts. So then most recently, I started a second Kickstarter, knowing that I now have this following, these fans, and shot for a bigger goal so that I could pay everyone involved this time. You know, because the first time you can call in favors, but the second time I feel like if you can pay people correctly, you know, that's always nice. So, and right now we have 6 days left. But I'm pleased to say that, because I just didn't, this was an experiment. Like, I didn't know for sure whether or not fans would show up. I did start collecting emails for a mailing list, which I strongly advise ahead of doing a Kickstarter, of people who say they would support this project. And you know, I gave a lot of notice, or actually not that much notice, but like a month in advance. And so right now we've raised, I think, 79%. So we're at 29,000. And with 6 days to go, it's like, you know, people tell me that there's a big surge at the end, and that people look at it and say, oh, you'll definitely hit your goal. But to me, it's still, you know, a tight basketball match that I'm watching. But if I do hit my goal, to me, it's really meaningful, first of all, that so many people love this show and want to see more of it, even in animatic form, because we're just trying to fund the next animatic episode. But then also what this means for indie animation, that people are so rabid for this kind of material, you know, like the stranger, more indie shows that studios aren't making right now.
Yeah. And also, I mean, what's really exciting about it as well, and I think it's something that we've talked about a lot, and I think a lot of people in the community, animation and kids media community, are really interested in, is this idea of building in public. You're really building the show as you're making it, and you're sharing that and using that to build a community around it. That's really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I started a Substack, I think a little after we last spoke, however long ago that was, like a year ago, maybe. But now I have over 1,000 readers. So that's another area where, not only are people reading what I'm writing, but also I can link my Substack to YouTube videos and vice versa. So it kind of can feed into each other. Um, and yeah, it's exciting. I feel like it's nice to feel like, because I've been working my butt off. Like, it's very hard to be a one person studio and one person marketing team. And that's what I've been. I haven't hired any help with that. So I've been working all the time. It's almost disgusting. Like, my daughter comments on it, and that's not good. Like, are you going to be working this weekend, mom? And but it's nice to feel like all that hard work is starting to pay off in ways that I can see.
Yeah, no,
So
it's amazing. And like such a very timely report dropped from YouTube this week as well. Culture and Trends report from YouTube, Animation's New Wave, how independent online animators are reshaping the entertainment industry. I think they're talking about you, Emily. Uh,
yeah,
but it's
they
so,
wrote it for me.
I think it's so interesting, like that one of the things that we would say in like in the kind of reshaped media landscape for kids and with social media, you know, that idea of quality has changed, right? Like
Hmm.
people are happy to watch an animatic. That's something that's touched on in the report. People are happy as long as the story is there and the characters are there. What quote unquote quality, I'm air quoting for people who are listening in ears, just imagine air
Yeah,
quotes,
yeah,
is really changing. We see that across tons of formats on digital, that it doesn't always have to be the fullest of full fat to have a valid audience and have a valid following.
Yeah,
and the
and
other
that
thing too. Oh, sorry, Andy, go
no, no,
ahead.
I was just going to kind of add a little bit to that, which is, I think the other aspect of it is that it makes it feel very authentic. The fact that you're including the audience in that process from the start. I mean, uh, there's a trend for adverts now to include within the edit the behind the scenes stuff
Oh
to
yeah,
really
yeah.
demonstrate
I
that
was
it's
hearing about that
and it kind
recently.
of feels like it's part of that kind of it kind of resonates with that kind of trend as well.
Yeah, and the other thing I was gonna say is, even if you have, like me, my official, like, traditional narrative 11-minute episodes are animatics, I can still have supplemental material, shorts that are fully animated,
Mm.
things that are easier to do to kind of fill in that whole universe. Um, so that's really appealing to me, is like seeing how kind of alternative, like, just there's no limitations when it's your own IP.
Mm.
Like, if I want to produce a comic, like I commissioned one of my favorite comic artists to do a 3-page comic that I think I'm going to use to submit to publishers, or maybe see if there's interest with the fans. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, just the fact that I can make those choices is really freeing for me, because I've been working in the traditional studios for over a decade. And while that has its own rewards, you have no say
Mm.
in like what's done with your property.
Yeah.
And whether
Yeah.
they even make merch. Nowadays, they usually don't make merch unless it's a huge franchise like Unicorn Academy or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that's just another hat that you've ended up acquiring. You're now the traditional studio as well as the writer and the creator.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How long has the Kickstarter been running for? Because with a week to
So
go,
yeah,
75% there.
yeah. So it's 30 days,
Okay.
30-day window.
Yeah.
Which Kickstarter gives you different options, but they say they advise for the 30-day so that you can have that momentum.
Okay.
If it goes on forever, or something, it's hard to really capture that momentum
The
at the moment.
urgency. Yeah.
Yeah, the urgency.
So you're around
So
75%
yeah,
funded and around 75% there.
79%, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then what type of like rewards were you offering? This is where some of the merch stuff comes in.
Yeah. So, well, previously I only did merch with really like non-existent overhead
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know for sure whether people would buy things. And so I have a shop at strawberryvampire.com, but it's all print on demand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's closed mostly in a mug. But the margins are not great, that's print on the demand. But anyways, that's another subject altogether. But for the Kickstarter, I wanted to do something special. So my friend Ruka Ito, who's a Japanese animation artist, designed a cute little Franny plushie. So they're plushie keychains. That's like kind of a cute version of Franny playing accordion. And there's a pin of Bat Franny. Franny has a pink bat with a strawberry. And there's a poster, stickers. And then we had some special rewards. So because I've been working in animation for so long, I've made connections and with people who have gone on to do really amazing things. So some of my friends offered to custom paint a resin strawberry vampire figure.
Wow.
Oh, cute.
And so some of those people, I mean, they're all superstars in animation, like Penn Ward, Patrick McHale, Lauren Faust, Jorge Gutierrez, Matt Braley. I'm probably missing someone, but yeah, so that was cool. And my friend Ruka also just made a digital coloring book recently as an add-on. And yeah, just one special thing that I offered recently was I checked with my storyboard artist to make sure it was okay, but we offered 10 positions to be a background character
Oh, cool.
in the animatic. So design either like their OC, like their you know, character that they created, or just themselves designed as a student at Franny's school.
Awesome.
Amazing.
So there's some really
Yeah.
interesting stuff there. And then like and I see for loads of them it's like special thanks in the credits. Does everybody get a special thanks in the credits who
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah?
Everyone who pledged. Yeah.
Awesome. So if the Kids Media Club podcast pledges $150, can we get a special thanks in the credits?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, guys.
Well, our EVP of Finance has approved it, and so we'll get on to that right after you.
Woo.
Yeah?
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love having your names.
Yeah. Well, we would love to support you.
We'd love
It's
that.
been an awesome project, and we've been following you all the way, Emily.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the support very much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, listen, fingers crossed that it all goes well. You will put our check in the mail and yeah, now we come back and chat to us about
By
it.
the time the check arrives, the Kickstarter will be over. But it's a thought that
It's
counts.
in the email. It'll be in the email.
Email.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks for letting me check in with you on everything that's been happening. And hopefully my mom doesn't have to donate. That's my goal. Anyways. We'll be in touch.
Great.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed that chat with Emily Brundige. We're very excited to see what she does with her show, Strawberry Vampire. If you'd like to support her, please check out her Kickstarter page for a variety of options in ways that you can back the show. And that's it for us for this episode. Please like and subscribe and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, and we will see you all next week.